Hello and welcome to the monthly Q&A for December. If you'd like to get your question answered in a Q&A like as this one, then head on over to us.fm/Sharmalade and I will do my best to answer your question as long as it's not too rude. Question number 1. Did you subscribe to PewDiePie? I was subscribed to PewDiePie, but I unsubscribed from PewDiePie, and it was for no reason other than I just wasn't watching his videos, but I love his toast videos. I think it's hilarious, and his mother always did say he would grow up to be a good toast. List 3 good things you've done in the last week. 3 good things I've done in the last week. Let me consult my planner. Let's see. I don't generally write down things that I, get up to in my planner, apart from like work related things, so, singy stuff. Well, I mean, I worked on a collab with Have No Fear, who performed at BlizzCon, so that was pretty good. I've done all my Christmas shopping. My Christmas shopping for 2019 is done. And I did my first ever open mic night at the Cheese and Grain, so that was another good thing, which my dad vlogged, and I'm really happy that he did. I want to get them all vlogged, and there's a lot coming up. So I just want to have like I've created a playlist on my YouTube channel, and I want to be able to look back on it and have like a timeline to see my mistakes and where to get better and where I am getting better already and things like that. So 3 good things, I think they're pretty good. Is there anything else? What else have I done? That's it. I've only done 3 good things. What age do you get mistaken for from Tash Holiday? So and up until like when I was 29, I think, I'm 34 now, said it. I used to get ID'd all the time if I wanted to like get alcohol and stuff in the shops, and so I've kind of got into this habit of carrying my passport around with me, because I do tend to get ID'd a lot. Not so much anymore. The wrinkles have kicked in, everything's going south, so generally I can kind of go out without my passport now. I did used to have a bloody nightmare with it before, and I remember when I was in America a few years ago now, and we went to City Walk to go and get cocktails and stuff, and they wouldn't serve me, and it was so frustrating because everyone else was having a jolly up in City Walk, and I was kind of sat there having a little sneaky sip from Ian's cocktail, and I was like, oh no. I can't believe I've been ID'd, and that was only about 3 or 4 years ago, or maybe even 2 years ago. What are your plans for tonight? My plans for tonight is pretty much the same every week, apart from a Friday and a Saturday and a Sunday. But my school night plans usually I'll do my homework. No, so Ian will come home and dinner will be on the table, so I normally start getting dinner ready about 45 minutes before Ian gets home, and then we will get Maggie's party dress on, her collar, her party dress. Why did I do air quotes for her collar? It is her collar, but we call it her party dress. And we will take her over the field and give her a good run, because I normally go during the day when in the summer and the spring and the autumn when it's lighter. But I've watched so much true crime now that I'm loath to go on my own during the winter days. I just feel like it's a bit bleak and a bit scary and a bit kind of I could get disappeared, y'all. And it will be that, like, what happened to Sharm, and she mysteriously went out to walk her dog one day and she never came back. But I have watched so much true crime, I'm a big true crime fan, that I think I would definitely make it exciting for the detectives and the police officers if they wanted to try and find me. I'd leave like little clues and stuff. Anyway, I totally detracted from, my evening plans. So aside from being kidnapped, we will take Maggie out and have a nice walk with her, and then come back, and sometimes we'll go and get a latte, and then we will come back and just kind of chill out. We've got separate gaming rooms now. Our gaming room used to be together, which was great because we used to watch films and stuff. And then my gaming PC blew up, and I'd only had it for like 3 months. So now I'm back in my studio, come office, come everything room. And I don't get to sit with Ian in the evenings anymore, which is kind of annoying, but I think I need to get a new computer because I think this one's on its way out. It's making some weird noises, usually during gaming. I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, but like, you know, like if you do a particular thing in a game, like usually opening a window of something, so like your character page, like your character tab, or when I'm playing Final Fantasy, if I open my character tab or like a duty finder or whatever, it will generally, my computer will click. It will literally click every time I open that particular window in the game, and it's weird. I'm guessing it's my video card clicking, but it's making some weird clicks and stuff, so, and I've heard that's a bad thing. So I do think I need to get a new computer, because the whole point of moving, having my computer in this room was so that I could come away from my office at the end of the day and not sort of be looking at emails and doing Patreon things and feeling like I can't switch off because I'm at my work computer still. And if you work from home, I know you'll totally get that. So yeah, in the evenings it has led to us being in different rooms, which is kind of annoying, but then we come back together at the end of the evening and, you know, actually have a conversation. The next question is from Oprin Lunet. And in fairy tales we have the fight between good and evil, but nevertheless the good comes out the winner. What do you think? I mean, it's great when good prevails, isn't it? But it is that in films, it's great when you've got like a revengey type film, like what was that one where I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you? What was that film called? Taken? Was it called Taken? I must know. It was called Taken. Oh my god, my memory's still working. In films like that, you know, you really want a good revenge film, and you want justice to be served, and you want all the bad guys to go down, and it's brilliant when it works out that way. But there's some films that you're just kind of a bit like, oh, it would have been so great if that person had died. Do you know what I mean? And not in, it's I guess it's in a bit of a, well, it's just a plot twist, isn't it? Sometimes you don't want the good to prevail, and you want to see like an ending that's like, oh no. I'm trying to think of a film that I've seen where the goodie has died. I read a series of books once, which were like the first ever romantic style books that I read as a teen. They were point horrors, so they were really, really tame. And it was called The Hunt, the Chase and the Kill, the Forbidden Game series by L.J. Smith. I've mentioned it before. And there was this guy in it. Oh my god, this is a spoiler if you're going to read the books, okay? But there's the main guy in it called Julian, and I had such a huge crush on him. Oh my god. I probably still do, like deep down inside it's like repressed memories of this. Anyway, and he, at the end, he was trying to get the girl all the way through the books, and he came from a clan of like shadow monsters. So they were like the baddies, but his clan, the rest of his clan were like these distorted, gross, disgusting, cruel creatures. And eventually one day Julian would turn into one of those beings, but for now he was just like this gorgeous god. And so we all knew that that was going to happen to him, but he didn't mention it until like the end book. And he was doing everything to get this girl to fall in love with him, and the whole books were about these different scenarios that he was putting himself into to get her to fall in love with him. Like he'd become like the Goblin King at one point, and then like I can't even remember, all these different situations. And it was so good. Oh, there was one scene where he was like this sci-fi god, and he was like playing Quasar, and he had a laser gun, and you know, I mean, I can see it vividly in my mind. So yeah, he was gorgeous, and towards the end of the book, we all knew that he was evil, but then at the end of the book, his cousins, or the rest of his clan or whatever, turned up and were doing everything they possibly could to kill the girl Jenny, or Jennifer I think her name was, and they were doing everything to like basically kill her, and Julian stood in front of her and protected her, and he was the one that ultimately was killed. And in his last moments he had given her this ring like near the start of the book. He'd like tricked her into marrying him in one of his scenarios, and the inscription in the ring had said something like he was her master or whatever. And then as he was dying, he sort of placed his hand over the ring on her finger, and he changed the inscription to "I am my only master." And it was like the saddest thing, and you know, like, you want good to prevail, but at the same time you know that he's kind of evil, even though he just wanted her to love him, and it's the most bittersweet type of romance. And it was just the first time, I think, in my life that I was like, good didn't prevail, but it was a very complicated and complex good, because he was inherently evil and there was a lot more to it. But it's a great series of books. I look at them on my bookshelf frequently and think I really want to read them again. I'd love it if they brought out an actual film of them. That would be incredible. Is your life like how you imagined or wanted it to be when you were a child? Well, when I was a child, I wanted to be an author. I loved writing. I would write all the time, and I begged my dad for an electronic typewriter, and I remember when he got it for me, and it was this huge white box thing, really super heavy, and it had a lovely black ribbon, and it also had a white ribbon, which was so different from the old typewriters. If you made an error before on a typewriter, I'm not sure how you would have gone about rectifying it. I think there was a way to do it on the typewriter, but it would leave, you know, like a mark. And this electronic typewriter was basically the same as a keyboard. Oh, my lovely keyboard, I love this keyboard. But it was kind of electronic. And it had the white tape, so if you ever made an error whilst you're typing, you could press the backspace button on the keyboard, and this white, it would go over the last character and would white it out, like Tipex kind of thing. But this white tape was like gold dust, and it was really, really expensive, so it put, kind of in a way, even more pressure on not making a mistake when you was typing, because you know it would actually cost you real money to get it fixed. But I loved my electronic typewriter, and I wrote so many unicorn themed poems on it. I've got a book somewhere, I'll have to find it, where there's probably about 20 unicorn poems that I wrote. I was obsessed with unicorns as a kid. And I wrote a whole short story, like a little point horror story about a girl called Demi, and like this like murder mystery thing that happened. And I'll have to find it, because my dad kept all of it. When my mum and dad split up, I would send my dad just so much shit, and he kept it all in a folder, and it's this huge binder of stuff, and it's got like my drawings in it of unicorns and horses, and my stories and stuff. But I've always loved writing, and I've just never known how to get my ideas out and into written form. And I have all these ideas for stories, and I have one in particular that I've always wanted to write, and I actually sat down and made a whole story plan for it recently, and it was shit. Like, it totally didn't come out the way that I wanted it to come out, and it was kind of disappointing, because it went from the story in my head to this completely different story, and it wasn't as good, and I decided, I haven't even looked at it since. But Ian's actually been writing a book, and he's like on chapter 20 or something, and there's like 130 odd chapters, so he's doing really well. And I didn't really have, I mean, I knew that he wanted to write, but I didn't realise it was something that he was so interested in. And now he's actually started it, and he's doing it, and he's got his whole story plan. So he's got the A to B, he's got the start and finish. He's just writing it up now. So, but yeah, I never imagined that I would be working from home as a singer. It's still incredible, and it's more that I feel so lucky that I'm alive in this time, when working from home is a very plausible thing to do. It's a very possible thing to do, with websites like Patreon and I don't know so much about the Kickstarters and the GoFundMes because I've never explored them sorts of pages before, but you know, we've got DistroKid for music distribution and things like that, and it makes working from home so possible now. I definitely encourage people to really try and explore this avenue of working from home. I understand that it's not possible for everybody, and you've got immediate bills to be paid and things like that, and real life always gets in the way, right? But if you've got 5 minutes spare in your day and there's something that you feel that you wish you could be doing a little bit more of, just try and do it. Try and sit down for that 5 minutes a day, create a Patreon or create a YouTube channel or create a little corner of the internet just for your stuff, and get it out there, get sharing it, and it will make you feel good. It will feel good to get it out your system. That's one of the main reasons that I've always kept up with singing, is because it feels good. It feels right. It feels like I'm getting things out of my system. And without singing, things don't feel right. I don't feel good, and I feel like I'm holding things in. So it's why wouldn't I be trying to do that? And if you feel the same, that you've got something to share, go for it. Start sharing it. No matter how small you start out, you've got to start from somewhere. It's like with Ian's book. He said to me, I'm nervous about actually starting it. He'd done his whole timeline and everything, but he couldn't find it in him to just take the first step, to type the first character to the first chapter of his first book. And as soon as he began, I don't know why there was like this stopper for him, but as soon as he began, it flowed and he couldn't stop, and he's 20 chapters in now. Do you know what I mean? You've got to start somewhere. Naughtiest things you all done on New Year Eve. I'm a very boring person. I don't think I've ever done anything naughty on a New Year's Eve. I really haven't done anything that's worth talking about. I'm one of these people that every New Year's Eve we will sit down and watch the fireworks, the London fireworks on TV. And I'll say every year, let's go next year, let's do something on New Year's Eve, let's go and watch the fireworks in London, and we never do. It's the same conversation every year. I love Christmas, I absolutely love Christmas, but there's something about New Year's Eve that I'm not that keen on. I always feel like it's kind of a bit bleak, and there's this feeling that it's always like I should be doing something a bit more fun, a bit more lively, but I don't know what, because I don't really want to go and stand at New Year's Eve. It's usually freezing cold at that time of year in the UK, and I don't really want to go and stand out in the freezing cold watching fireworks, because I'm old and boring. Anyway, I feel like I've babbled a lot in this Q&A, but that's because I didn't do a vlog this week or this month, because I ended up doing an open mic night, and they're gonna, I think it's so much more entertaining for me to be able to share my open mic night performances with you than me sitting here having a blab. If I am replacing my monthly vlogs with an open mic night, then it's nice to just kind of take the opportunity during a Q&A to sit down and let you know what's up, yo. But yeah, actually this is the last time I think I'm going to see you ever, not ever, this year. So have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful New Year's Eve. I'm doing this thing and it's probably not going to be seen to fruition because I know what I'm like, but Maggie's got a doggy advent calendar and I filmed the first 2 days of her opening it. What day are we on? 4th? Yeah, see, I've already forgotten to film 2 days worth, but I've been filming her having the door open and then whatever the treat is inside and her eating it, and I've done the 2 days and I forgot to open it with her yesterday. So and then I want to do like I want to put all the days together, the 25 days of Maggie's advent calendar, and show you guys, because why wouldn't you want to see that? Oh, and also I'm not sure when this Q&A is scheduled to come out. What are we on? Oh, it's not going to come out until January. So if you want to get your question answered in a Q&A like this one, then head on over to ars.fm/Sharmalade and I will do my best to answer your question. As I said before, I know this is going to be coming out late now. I've figured out that it's coming out in January. But I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year's Eve. And I'll see you soon. Bye!